Children who grow up with parents who yell too much often carry invisible scars into adulthood. These wounds cannot be seen on the surface, yet they shape the way a person thinks, feels, and relates to others for years, sometimes for a lifetime. The saddest part is that many adults spend years trying to heal from a voice that was supposed to make them feel safe. A parent's voice is often the first voice a child learns to trust, the first source of comfort during moments of fear, and the first guide they look to when trying to understand the world around them. When that voice frequently becomes loud, angry, and unpredictable, it can leave a lasting impact that reaches far beyond childhood. Many parents do not intend to cause harm when they yell. Life can be stressful, responsibilities pile up, financial pressures, work demands, exhaustion, and the daily challenges of raising children can push even the most loving parent to the edge. Yet children experience yelling very differently from adults do. What may feel like a brief moment of frustration to a parent can feel like a frightening and overwhelming event to a child. Children do not have the emotional maturity to separate a parent's stress from their own sense of worth. Instead, they absorb the experience deeply and often carry its effects into adulthood. One of the first consequences of growing up in a home where yelling is common is the development of constant insecurity. Every child needs a sense of emotional safety. Home should be the place where they feel protected, accepted, and free to make mistakes without fearing harsh reactions. When yelling becomes a regular occurrence, that sense of safety begins to disappear. Rather than feeling relaxed at home, children become hyper-aware of the moods and behaviors of the adults around them. They learn to walk on eggshells, carefully monitoring every word and action in an attempt to avoid triggering another outburst. Imagine a child who accidentally spills a drink on the floor. In a calm environment, the mistake becomes a simple learning opportunity. The parent helps clean it up and explains how to be more careful next time. But in a household where yelling is common, the same mistake may trigger anger, criticism, and raised voices. The child quickly learns that mistakes are dangerous. Over time, this fear extends beyond small accidents. They become afraid of trying new things, afraid of speaking up, afraid of making decisions, and afraid of failing. As adults, these individuals often struggle with chronic self-doubt and anxiety because they spent years learning that even minor mistakes could lead to emotional discomfort. Alongside insecurity comes a deep struggle with self-worth. Children naturally look to their parents to understand who they are. They interpret the way they are treated as evidence of their value. When a parent regularly yells, criticizes, or expresses anger, children often assume the problem lies within themselves. They do not think, "My parent is stressed." Instead, they think, "I must be doing something wrong." Because children see themselves as the center of their world, they frequently internalize blame for situations they cannot fully understand. As this pattern continues, many children begin to develop negative beliefs about themselves. They may conclude that they are not smart enough, good enough, or lovable enough. These beliefs can become deeply rooted and persist long after childhood has ended. Even when they achieve success later in life, they may struggle to feel proud of themselves. Compliments may feel uncomfortable because they conflict with the negative image they developed years earlier. In relationships, they may constantly seek reassurance or fear abandonment because they never truly learn to see themselves as worthy of unconditional love and acceptance. Another hidden consequence of excessive yelling is emotional instability. Children learn how to manage emotions primarily through observation. They watch how adults respond to stress, disappointment, frustration, and conflict. If yelling is the primary response they witness, it becomes the emotional language they learn. A child who grows up seeing anger used to solve problems may eventually rely on anger when facing challenges of their own. This does not happen because they are bad people. It happens because no one consistently showed them another way. As adults, these individuals may find themselves reacting intensely to situations that others handle calmly. A disagreement with a partner may feel like a major threat. Constructive criticism at work may trigger overwhelming emotions. Small frustrations can lead to outbursts because emotional regulation was never properly modeled during childhood. Children absorb what they experience repeatedly. If calm communication is rarely demonstrated, they may reach adulthood without fully developing the skills needed to navigate emotions in healthy ways. Interestingly, not all children respond to yelling by becoming angry themselves. Some develop the opposite response. Instead of becoming reactive, they become people pleasers. These children learn that avoiding conflict feels safer than expressing their true thoughts and feelings. They become highly skilled at reading the emotions of others, constantly adjusting their behavior to keep everyone around them happy. While this may appear to be maturity or good behavior, it often comes at a significant personal cost. Many adults who grew up in this environment struggle to set boundaries. They find it difficult to say no. They worry excessively about disappointing others and often place other people's needs above their own. Deep down, they may fear that disagreement will lead to rejection, anger, or conflict. As a result, they sacrifice their own happiness to maintain peace. What appears to be kindness on the surface is often rooted in fear. They learned early in life that emotional safety depended on keeping other people satisfied. Trust can also become a major challenge for children raised in homes filled with yelling. Trust develops when relationships feel predictable and secure. Children need to know that love will remain consistent even when mistakes are made. Frequent yelling creates uncertainty. Children never know when a situation might suddenly escalate. They become unsure of what to expect from the people they depend on most. This unpredictability can make it difficult to trust others later in life. As adults, many become emotionally guarded. They hesitate to open up because vulnerability feels risky. They may crave close relationships while simultaneously fearing them. The idea of trusting someone completely can feel uncomfortable because their earliest experiences taught them that people who love you can also hurt you. This internal conflict often creates loneliness and emotional distance, even in otherwise healthy relationships. What many people fail to recognize is that yelling affects more than a child's emotions. It also affects the body. When children experience frequent yelling, their stress response system is repeatedly activated. Their hearts race, muscles tense, and minds become focused on potential threats. Living in this state for extended periods can make it difficult to relax, concentrate, and feel secure. It is similar to trying to grow a flower in the middle of a storm. The flower may survive, but survival is not the same as thriving. A child may continue functioning, attending school, and appearing normal on the surface, while internally carrying stress that affects their emotional development. The good news is that change is possible. No parent is perfect, and perfection is not what children need. What children need is consistent effort, emotional awareness, and a willingness to grow. One of the most powerful things a parent can do is learn to pause before reacting. Frustration is normal. Anger is normal. What matters is how those emotions are expressed. Taking a moment to step away, drink water, or gather one's thoughts can prevent words that leave lasting wounds. Parents are often surprised to discover that lowering their voice can be more effective than raising it. A calm voice communicates confidence and control. A loud voice often communicates the opposite. Children are far more likely to listen when they feel respected and understood. Fear may produce immediate obedience, but respect builds lasting trust. A child who feels emotionally safe is more likely to learn from correction because they are focused on the lesson rather than the fear. Equally important is the ability to apologize when mistakes happen. Many parents worry that apologizing will weaken their authority. In reality, it strengthens it. When a parent says, "I shouldn't have spoken to you that way, and I'm sorry," they model accountability and emotional maturity. They teach children that everyone makes mistakes and that healthy relationships involve repair. A sincere apology can heal emotional wounds and reinforce the message that love remains present even after conflict. Before ending this discussion, it is worth reflecting on a simple question. Think back to your own childhood. How did the adults around you make you feel? Not what they bought for you or the opportunities they provided, but how they made you feel when you were around them. Did you feel safe, respected, and accepted? Or did you feel anxious, fearful, and uncertain? Now consider the children in your own life. How do they feel when they hear your voice? What emotional atmosphere do you create through your words, reactions, and behavior? The truth is that children may forget many of the specific words spoken during childhood, but they rarely forget how those words made them feel. A harsh voice can echo in someone's mind for decades. A kind and patient voice can become a source of confidence and strength throughout life. Every interaction with a child is an opportunity to build trust, nurture self-worth, and create emotional security. The goal is not simply to correct behavior. The goal is to guide a human being who is learning how relationships work, how emotions work, and how to see themselves in the world. Children eventually grow up and leave home, but the voice they heard most often during childhood often becomes the voice they carry inside their own minds. That is why patience matters. That is why emotional control matters. And that is why the way we speak to children today can shape the people they become tomorrow. Remember this: be the peace they run to, not the pain they spend years trying to recover from. If you believe children deserve patience, understanding, and emotional safety, type peace in the comments below and subscribe for more videos that inspire stronger families, healthier relationships, and better lives.